So we did a Tranzact video a while back, and of course we got some hateration comments on there. And it just kind of it goes to show that people don't know what the they talking about.
They were in the pre-launch.
Yeah,
We almost there pre-launch.
almost pre-launch, and it's
Almost halfway there pre-launch. Then we almost a quarter half of the half.
Minute,
Nah,
like,
that was humble though. It was humble
being in the
because he
field
tryna
with
be
the
out
rest of
here
them.
with us in the trenches. You know, he not
Yeah.
gonna be in no little cushy seat in the corporate office. He gonna be out here working with us.
Well,
Working with because it got closed down. Hello there, profitpreneurs. Welcome to Walton Profit Solutions, where we help you to grow profits one solution at a time. Here's one of these times inside of our video today.
So we're gonna be hitting on Tranzact and just overall Forex in the MLM space sort of things. I'm gonna kind of put y'all on the game with some things y'all need to be looking for if somebody brings anything about Forex or crypto to you.
Now, real quick, let's just give a little bit of our background. I've been an entrepreneur going on 26 years, and the past 10 of those years, I've been doing everything strictly online. What about?
Yeah, on and off since graduating high school, pretty much. But like consistently for the past, I guess, 10 years.
Yeah. And so we actually met and got married and all of that thanks to online business. That's what brought us together. And ever since we got married back in 2021, we have been doing this together. We formed all kinds of different ways that we've been able to make money online together. There's nothing that we teach you that we haven't made about 5 figures a month from. I think that's been our litmus test. If we've ever made anything less than that, we don't really talk much about it. So in the areas where we have that expertise is network marketing, affiliate marketing, digital products, and also digital services.
So we did a Tranzact video a while back, and of course we got some hateration comments on there. And it just kind of it goes to show that people don't know what the they talking about.
Yeah.
And so it's not now. It's a situation where it's like we told you so. Like we tried to tell them.
Yeah, hindsight is 2020.
Hindsight is always 2020.
But that's why you need to know how to have some foresight. And honestly, it's about discernment as well. It is business discernment. To be able to call yourself an entrepreneur, there are certain things that you need to just know is just, this is how things go. This is absolutely not how things go in the entrepreneurial world. This way you can pick up on those red flags and you can avoid being one of those people that got duped by Tranzact. We tried to warn people about Tranzact based on our own experience dealing with companies and knowing what makes sense and what doesn't, what's a little iffy. We also love to follow the law. We do not jump into get rich quick schemes and stuff like that. We have way too much integrity for that. So when we tried to show people this is what that looks like, they're going down the wrong road. This doesn't look like it fits with regulations for the FTC or the SEC. You need to know who regulates these things as well and make sure you understand the law there. If you're not doing these things, this is what causes the chaos, the confusion, and the misleading that causes you to be in positions where, you know, a lot of these people that jumped into Tranzact and then jumped into our comment section telling us we didn't know what we were talking about, we still have our money. Their money is gone. What they put into that and sticking up for a company that turned out to crumble when you didn't have to. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff we're going to go over.
When you're dealing with people's money, you're taking people's money, like cash money, to put it and store it somewhere as some sort of bank or in Forex terms and trading terms, some sort of investment. You got to be licensed for that stuff. You can't just start taking people's money and being like, oh, I'm going to hold this for you. No,
They
you have
gotta
to,
be
especially if you're
licensed.
commercially making that available to the public. It ain't just your friends or something like that. You gotta be licensed for it. And if you don't have the proper licenses, there's fines, and if well fines and lawsuits, right? But even if you're regulated and you break these rules, right? You're going to get fined by the regulatory authorities for breaking those rules.
Yeah.
If you never go into it and never get regulated, they're going to sue you. So either way, you're going to be paying some money for disobeying the rules and the law.
So for somebody like yourself who actually, studied for these exams, for FINRA, for people that don't know, is
Financial Industry Regulatory Authority.
yeah, he done did that. Okay, so that's like really important as well, because if you're gonna study to be able to pass those kinds of rigorous testings, then you got to make sure that you know your stuff so you can pass the freaking test, right? So Sonny studied that. And again, you have people that are trying to approach you and convince you
Yeah,
to join these
I'm gonna
companies,
show y'all some of the
not
messages.
realizing that he knows all about the way that a forex company or any kind of trading company should work, and they don't, and it's clear that they don't. Like, it's funny.
Yeah.
Y'all,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah. So all right, so Transact first. We talked about in the first video, we talked about one of the things we talked about was the high volume requirements for commission, how much money people have to spend in order for you to make some money. And those percentages look crazy to me because coming from, trading forex, I'm very familiar with the what they call a pip, right? It's a point, a percentage interest point, which is a percent of it's a fraction of a penny, but it's oftentimes broken down into, it's not even uh at least two decimal places, but most times four decimal places of that's how small of a penny you're working with in forex. So when I saw that same thing on Transact, now on Transact's comp plan though, they kind of try to hide it by saying something like basis points.
Right,
They
right,
use
right.
basis points, and I'm like, I know exactly what basis points is. And it's smaller than what people think. So they didn't explain it on the comp plan, but when you put it into layman's terms and put it on a calculator, you have to literally take a penny
and make it actually a
a
fraction.
fraction.
So yeah, that's something that we picked up on right away, that a lot of people just did not want to see it, and instead they rather just continue supporting and standing behind factless information. I don't know where they got their info from.
It's these MLM firms come in and it goes off a hype. This is what's
True.
This is what's going through the industry, and this is what people are hyping up right now.
Yeah, the hot new thing, the shiny object. And again, when you're on our channel, we're not about that. We're trying to show you the classic, tried and true ways to be able to profit, where it is sustainable and it is predictable and it is long term. We are not into all of that crazy hype and frou.
Yeah.
It's just, for what?
Yeah.
Here today, gone tomorrow.
Yep.
So
another thing was the annual membership fees on a debit card. A debit card. We can understand annual membership fees on a credit card.
Yeah.
But a debit card? I mean, how many of you have had to pay an annual fee to hold a debit card?
Right.
Unless it's, well, I don't even know. Like,
No.
did NetSpend even do that? Did
No.
Rush Card do that?
We talked about Rush Card in the video. What else was interesting is it was clear who watched the entire video and who did not. Most people didn't watch the whole thing because we were live.
It was
going
long.
through it, and it was like 2
I
hours.
was thinking it was an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, definitely over an hour.
Yeah.
So we get it, but if they're anything like us, sometimes we'll watch a longer video in parts. So, but it was clear some people commented without watching the whole thing, because they didn't understand like our comparisons and stuff.
Yeah.
Because they didn't watch the whole thing in its context.
Yep.
So I want you to think about that, because I mean, you don't have to be, somebody who has a bank, like for instance with us, if you got Chase or Wells Fargo or whatever, they ain't charging you no annual fee for your debit card. Okay. And then, I mean, even if you ain't got those, if you got something like Bank of America, if you got Capital One, PNC Bank, nobody charges you to get the card and then charge you the membership fee, an annual fee for a debit card.
Yeah.
And the credit cards that do charge you an annual fee are the best ones. They give you the most perks. They give you the biggest sign up bonuses. They give you the biggest amount of points for your purchases and all that kind of stuff, so that you really get something out of it. So it makes sense for them to have those fees.
Yeah. And if I guess if I could draw a comparison to what Transact card was trying to be, it seemed like they were trying to be a Chime or a Varo, right? Something like that. It was and I guess you could argue the point that it can also be considered trying to be sort of a like a NetSpend or a Blue Dot card or something like that. One of those debit cards you grab from Walmart or something.
Yeah.
Because those cards charge you, what's it, every time you buy something, every time you swipe,
but they didn't charge you to enroll, and they didn't charge you for an annual fee for your card like Tranzact was trying to do. So again, it didn't make any sense. And I kept saying to myself, if this were not set up as a network marketing company, right, and you walked into a bank and they told you all this stuff, would you still be hyped up about it?
Exactly.
These folks wanted so bad for people to see this vision, and the vision was leading you straight to the toilet, child. I don't financial toilet. It didn't make any sense whatsoever.
It didn't make no sense when it was brought to us. I was like, this, I don't know.
And there's something else, just real quick, about if you're going to learn how to become an entrepreneur, and better yet, especially if you're working with us, a profitpreneur, then you have to understand money in general. You know, it's one thing to make some money in your business and you're generating some cash flow and some revenue, but it's also another thing to understand your expenses, understand investments that you may have to make. And that's not always just initially, but then you also need to understand your profit margin and what you do with that money once you are in profit mode. What are the wisest ways that you can use that money? You'll start to see that things like Tranzact ain't one of them. They ain't one of the things to do.
No.
You know,
so the low commission fee. So we mentioned in the video, you had to have enough people spend enough money to the tune of $8,000 something for you to make $10. Right? It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I think they had in their example for the comp plan that you'd make like $10.25 for the month for several people coming in and spending thousands with their card.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, they were assuming that people were going to, use this as a main card.
Right.
And so, on average, they were saying, well, on average, the person, will swipe their card for $2,000 and something worth of transactions every month. So they were using that as a basis model for that compensation plan example. And so, I mean, even still, like, okay, but you're used to getting like $10 a month for one person.
Yeah. Something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the pre-launch. They were in pre-launch for the longest time.
Child. They were in the pre-launch.
Yeah.
We almost there pre-launch.
Almost pre-launching.
It's almost halfway there pre-launch. Then we almost a quarter half of the halfway there. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there like,
yeah.
What's
and
taking
they kept pushing it back.
Yeah. What's taking you so long? We said what we believe was taking them so long. And then I think they didn't realize that, there were going to be some regulatory entities that would be looking into everything and doing their due diligence before they approved you to even be able to have a card. So Tranzact was trying to partner with certain banks to be able to create and issue cards out to their folks in the first place. And when these banks later find out from the regulatory agencies, y'all don't have this in place, that in place, that in place. Y'all got to shut this down. That instead of Tranzact just telling the truth or stating what was obvious to people that know and understand money, Instead of doing that, they were like, oh, uh, it's the bank's fault, but it's okay because we got another bank on the way. But you can't use your card no more.
Yeah.
But it's okay because we're gonna get you another card.
Yeah.
But you gotta hurry up and use all the money on that card.
They got some
Or you gotta
virtual-
wait till you get a check from us in the like.
Yeah, it was a shit show. One big deal for us when we looked at the comp plan was the fact that people paid, was it $495, $500 to get in, and that was the exact amount of the bonus that you got. I think it was some type of bonus you got when you brought in 3 people. You got, and they called it a rebate, right? A $500 rebate check. And so I'm like, well, this math ain't hard to compute. You got in for 500. You bring 3 other people in for 500. So now they have a total of what is it, $2,000?
Yeah, because it's
right collectively. So then they'll give you $500 back. That you
right.
You know what I mean? That you already paid them because you brought them, and so they profited $1,500.
Right.
Right.
And where does that $1,500 go? Right, when you pay the 500, where does it go? Because it can't just be just because you joined. And we kept pointing that out because we know that is one of the biggest rules that the FTC has. You cannot have a network marketing company where you pay just for a sign up and you're not paying for some type of product or service.
Yeah, absolutely.
So these sign up fees need to go towards something. So I'll give you an example. Melaleuca, who's not a network marketing company, allegedly. Okay, they're like, don't come for me. They said
it's consumer direct,
right? Okay, but let me just point out, if you were to purchase their $299, to be able to use the product, the $299 is going towards the product, as well as you now have the ability to refer people to purchase as well. And when you do, you get a commission. That clearly goes to the product because you can see you're getting $600 worth of product. That is within FTC regulations. Yeah. But you signing up and you got to pay not $1, not $2, but $500.
Yeah.
To say I'm in.
Right. Yeah.
Insane.
So during the launch, they were keeping people updated, right? And there was this one.
I'm sorry, they were keeping y'all updated with nothing, a bunch of nothing.
Yeah.
We working on such and such. We working on it. It's coming. That's.
Yeah, they had some deals that with some partners, that they had to put in place in order to have their business be operational. And that relationship fell through, so they had to find another entity to partner with, which took a while, and I don't even know if that went through because I think by the time they came up for air, the company was being they rebranded to, what was it? I don't know. It was some one-page website they put up with WordPress. Because I looked at
that was something else that was crazy. You haven't even launched yet, and you already got a rebrand.
Yeah.
Do you understand what it means to brand or even rebrand? Does everybody understand? Because if they haven't, you got to get into a Profitpreneur membership. Because for you to have to rebrand and you haven't even opened your doors yet, that is a huge. That's 10 red flags right there.
Yeah, that's a maroon flag. That's a dark blood red. Like, but you have to also look at the reason why they rebranded, which they really didn't. They glossed it over a little bit, but they really didn't hide it. It was the fact that Tranzact card now had a bad name. It had a bad name. And rightfully so, because it was a shit show going through that launch thing.
Yes.
And
you had the feds looking at them at this point because they were getting a lot of attention. You had, banks now wanting to separate themselves, and Tranzact was not going to be able to get off the ground without partnering with a bank.
Yeah.
And preferably the most legitimate bank and the most trusted banks that they could possibly find.
The 2 banks I'm used to with debit cards that technically you don't have a bank account, it's a debit card like PayPal, right? MetaBank and US Bank, I believe, are the 2 banks that I'm used to seeing these cards partner with. So it's possible because there's plenty of debit cards out there,
Yes.
but it wasn't happening for them. And yeah, it could have been probably because the Transact had a bad name, but also the one of the founders or co-founders, I think the guy's name was Mark Smith, had a bad reputation himself. So the guy had a bad rep, and then caused the company. I wouldn't say it caused the company to have a bad rep. The company caused itself to have a bad
Yeah.
rep because it just wasn't getting off the ground.
Yeah. And how could it get off the ground when it didn't make any sense?
It didn't. It
It did
didn't. It
not
really
make any
didn't.
logical
And I
sense.
wonder why they decided to go into this business in particular because it's hard. It's
Yeah.
hard, and you have to be regulated.
Exactly. It
So
doesn't make sense to
usually
do.
with MLM, you kind of want the lowest amount of regulation.
Yeah. So was the guy you just mentioned, was this the one that then all of a sudden after
He-
their launch that was
he-
supposed to be right here in Vegas? We ain't see none of y'all.
Right?
Yeah. That he said he was stepping down to work in the field, and then the field got burnt down or something, child, because then the name changed, and then poof, it was gone.
Yeah, he at the launch event. I mean, I'm telling you, this is a bursting the balloon. It's a anticlimactic event when you go to your company's launch event and the founder steps down from the company.
But no,
And you try to spin it.
nah,
Like,
that was humble though. It was humble
being in the
because he's trying to
field with
be
the
out
rest of
here
them.
with us in the trenches. You know, he's not
Yeah.
gonna be in no little cushy seat in the corporate office. He gonna be out here working with us.
Well,
Working with because it got closed down.
I think they did mention though the fact that he didn't want his name to drag the company down. With that said, though, you should be second and third guessing whether you want to be a part of this company or not because your company has a bad rap. The founder has such a bad rap that he had to separate himself from the company. Come on, man. I'm not doing that.
That is network marketing company choosing 101.
100.
Yeah, it's to go, and if you're gonna research stuff, I mean, everybody be saying, I'll get back to it after I research it. If you're gonna research something, research the company owners, the company founders. What are they all about? Because Tranzact is one company. There's another company that came out around the same time that we were also like, this doesn't make any sense either. And when you go and look at who the founder is, he's been ducking and dodging the law as well. And yet, and then you go and you ask people, did you know that this is the person who started this company? And they're like, who that?
Yeah, I asked somebody who was in the company and I mentioned the company owner's name and she's like, who is that? That's the guy that owns the company that you're a part. Hello, is this single?
You are partnering. This is your name and reputation. You know what I'm saying?
I was like, okay.
That you're attaching to someone else's name and reputation. And people look at that as birds of a feather flock together. So if they see that this one person is a scam con artist and you with them,
yeah,
promoting them,
yeah, guilty by association. Yeah. I know more about your company than you know, and I ain't in it than you are. That was ridiculous.
Yeah,
but people be doing that. I don't know that, and you ask why people don't take you seriously when you join it. When you come to them about the MLM, that's why.
Sitting up there crying, nobody signed up with me ever. I've been in 5 companies in a year, and nobody signs up with me because you don't make good choices.
Yeah.
So how do they expect you to lead them anywhere besides into a ditch? Because because you're not even doing your own due diligence. You're not looking out for the people that you say that you're going to lead by doing it ahead of time before they, like, it should be a part of your psyche. It should be a part of your DNA to want to make sure that you look out for other people, just period.
Yeah.
And then as you're bringing people along, that you're in a place where it's like, I'm knowledgeable on the things that matter. You know, you don't have to know all the details about the percentage of the percentage of the percent from Tranzact, but you do need to at least know whether or not you're dealing with and partnered with a company that has any integrity and any ethics.
Yeah. So the compensation plan being complex is nothing new. It's not just Transact. Not a lot of MLMs have complex or complicated compensation plans.
Mhm.
This wasn't too hard for us to figure out. It was pretty straightforward, but um they did end up changing it though.
Yes.
Right? They did end up changing it, which kind of with the way they changed it kind of erased our theory about the $500.
Mhm.
Uh,
They had to change it because if we noticed it, and we brought this up in the original video, if we noticed it, the FTC was going to notice it.
yeah.
And so they were going. We were like, mark our words, they're going to change this comp plan at least once or twice before it even launches. And sure enough, they did. I am not investing my money into this company on a promise that come November, all of this stuff is going to be ready, fully functional, ready to go. That it's going to function the way that you tell me it will. That you won't change some of your comp plan by the time the launch hits.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever joined anything in pre-launch?
Nope.
I haven't either. I just don't like. I like my companies to be a good 5-7 years.
Get in now on the ground floor, and that's exactly what happens. It goes down to the ground.
Absolutely did.
Everything that we said would happen with this company came to fruition.
Yeah, pretty much. After they rebranded, it shut down, and I went on YouTube real quick just to look up what came up for Transact. And one of the videos that came up was the last video this person ever posted, not just about Transact, but period, on this channel. I don't know if he got the channel just for Transact or whatever, because if he did, then there's no reason to post anymore because it's not in existence anymore. But you know, when you're promoting something publicly and it turns out to be a scam or not ethical or not, and it gets shut down, what else you gonna do?
Yeah.
You can't talk about it no more. And it's embarrassing. Right?
Embarrassing.
I was just scared to say that.
It's embarrassing.
It is.
It's embarrassing. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's Drake level embarrassing.
It is.
All right. This song gets a grant.
Y'all got this, bro.
Yeah.
It's hard to walk around, if you went from walking around all this time like you some big time professional that knows your stuff, only to discover that you were involved in a scam. And I mean, even today, some people still don't believe that they were involved in a scam.
Yeah.
They just think things just didn't quite go as planned. And I'm like,
yeah,
that's delusion. I'm sorry. Eventually, at some point, somebody got to face some freaking facts.
Yeah.
But
and I'm the type of person that looks at a business model and tries to understand how a company can do that and be profitable, right? And I said that because when you look at Transact, you're like, okay, well, how were they making money, right? Other than the fees that people pay to join the company, how are they making money from end customers, right? The answer was they wasn't making most of their money from the end customers. When I looked at the business model, they were making most of their money from people joining as a rep.
Yep.
Right? Those big $500 payments that they will receive, because that's how much they charge to join. Yes, they were paying out commissions, but as a business model, you hope you receive more money than you have to pay out.
That was another huge argument that we kept seeing in the chat. I'm making money with it. It doesn't make it any less of a scam.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I always say.
Right. That's how scams work.
Oh, yeah. And the best scams work like that, right?
You're going to
see some money so that the scam can be referred to other people.
Yeah.
You can't just scam somebody and not pay them, then the scam don't go nowhere because they know it's a scam already.
Right. You don't get very far with that.
Yeah, and like she said, just because you make money doesn't mean it's not a scam, because like I always say, you can make money selling drugs. That don't make it legal.
Right. Right. Again, it's not for us to like make fun of people or laugh at people, because some folks really did lose out big time, and we feel for them. And see, this is one of the reasons why we created the original video. We wanted to make sure that people understood how to think for themselves, how to look at information and be able to process and understand what this comp plan is. That's why we started doing comp plan videos, because we know and understand that a lot of people clearly can see that comp plans are not straightforward. Most comp plans are very opaque, and it would take someone like us who's an expert in it, or take a lawyer even sometimes, to take a look at that and be able to break it down for you. And it's not that we've been in a ton of companies. At least I've been in more than one, but I pick my companies very carefully because of this. And so once you start really paying attention to a comp plan, the more you see it, the more you start to recognize certain clauses in there and stuff. So if you don't understand the comp plan and your upline cannot explain it to you, which they probably won't, they're probably going to say things like, oh, don't worry about the comp plan. You just follow what I show you and you'll make money. And that's really the point of all of it. You know, we want to get out here, help people make money.
Mm-hmm.
That just means I don't know what the hell I'm doing either.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure that before you plant your flag anywhere and before you commit, that you actually understand what you're getting yourself into. That's all.